Howdy, Simmers. I've been watching more Tiny House Nation, and of course, it's put me in the mood to build a tiny house, but I want to do something a little bit different. I feel like tiny homes are very stylized, especially in The Sims 4. We have a whole pack dedicated to tiny living, and it is all kind of just one style. So I want to try to build a tiny home today, but I want to build it as a cottage. Now, there's really no difference to just building a small cottage, except that if you have the tiny living stuff pack, there is an actual like tiny residential lot type, and basically the smaller the home, the more benefits that you get. So this is actually labeled as a tiny home in The Sims. It is 63 out of 64 tiles, which is, I guess, the number of tiles that classifies it as a tiny home in this game. Not sure if that's true in real life, but I'm not gonna get into that. I don't know enough about tiny homes to really get into that side of things. But yeah, I just wanted to try something a little different, and I don't know why. I was feeling very cottagey today, probably because of the Nature's Calling event that just started, and I don't know, the upcoming fairy expansion kind of playing into this because I feel like a lot of vibes from that expansion are similar to cottage living. And I have to say, on top of this being a tiny residential place, this is also kind of a limited pack build. So I just threw in like a bunch of kind of different challenges into one thing. But all you need for this build is base game, obviously. But you also need cottage living, of course, love struck, and for the purpose of the actual lot type, you need tiny living. But other than that, I did not use like any other packs. And the only reason I started using Lovestruck was because of the bathroom. I needed a shower that was kind of open instead of like closed off. You know which ones I'm talking about. And unfortunately, we don't have any of those in base game. So I was thinking, okay, what pack is most likely to be owned by like everyone? And I think Lovestruck is probably the winner there. Like, we have, I believe, three or four open showers. One of them is from Discover University, one is from Lovestruck, one is from a kit, and then the other one is from Snowy Escape, I believe. And I just thought, most people probably own Lovestruck. Most people probably regret having Lovestruck, but most people do have it. So that's what we ended up going with. And so that it wasn't the only item from Lovestruck in this pack, I did include some like clutter stuff upstairs, and I think one of the guitars is from Lovestruck as well. I say one of, there was only one guitar. Anyway, I tried to incorporate Lovestruck a little bit more into this build so you wouldn't feel like, it was that big of a thing. I don't know. I tried. But of course, being a tiny home, this is only a one bedroom, one bathroom place, and I think it ended up being really, really cute. So we do heavily rely on cottage living and some base game, but mainly cottage living because cottage. And I really, really like it. This has to be one of the cutest spaces that I have ever made. Personally, at least downstairs. I feel like everything flows really nice. It's not often when I build smaller homes that I actually manage to fit a dining space and a living room with the kitchen. Sometimes it's either or. But we managed to get a little one in just a corner. So if you want guests, this is not the place for your sim to live, but it's cute. And if you are doing the Nature's Calling event or something, this might be a cute little place just to have your sim hang out while they're doing stuff in nature, I guess. So, how is everyone doing with that event anyway? I have completed some stuff. I did get the new woodworking table, and I was actually looking at the reward stuff, and I know the Sims community complains a lot about how, not really complains, but like they ask for more woodworking recipes for that table. And this like outhouse that we get later on down the line, I did discover is actually a woodworking recipe. So I guess we did get something new with this. Yay. Not a big deal for everyone. What you're seeing me do right now is building a pond. Not really building a pond, but I just thought that we're on such a big lot because Hanford on Bagley really doesn't have like tiny lots or anything. But because we're on such a large lot and I have this tiny home, I thought, what could I put out here to make it feel a bit more busy, I guess? And so I decided a pond would fit in here. I don't really do stuff with ponds, and I think it ended up being fine. You can fish in it too, so that's great. But yeah, we are finishing up on our last stuff. I'm just doing some terrain paint, and I get a few flowers, nothing too fancy. So yeah, I just didn't want to fill this lot with trees, was the thing. Oh yeah, I also added some flower boxes to the windows just to, make the house feel a little more nice on the outside, give it a little more of something. But I think that is basically it for this build. So I'm going to hop into the game and I will show you this tiny living cottage. So here we are in Henford on Bagley, and the weather's a little gloomy today. It's not my fault. I did try to fix it. We have our pond over here, just some light landscaping, and this is the cottage. So there is an outdoor trash can off to the side there. I put down this little path leading up to the front door, and walking in, we have our very small space here. I almost feel like I need to move this camera a little bit lower. But we have a small dining setup over to this corner. Got some nice plants. I did include a burglar alarm as well as the fire smoke detector as well. Sadly, no thermostat in this build because that came with seasons, but it's fine. This is our bathroom, and here is that open shower I was talking about. So it's a little crowded in here, but it is functional. We have our living room here, and I threw in a pink chair just to kind of break it up, but I really like the space. We have a little tea set on the table as well that I think is functional. Forgot to paint the ceilings. That tends to happen sometimes. Here is our kitchen. Really, really cute. We've got a bookshelf. And then we come upstairs, we have our ladder, which this one is base game. And then here is the bedroom. So we have our guitar over here, little dresser. Yeah, this is the whole setup. There's some things to do, but it's not like fully, I guess, meant to be lived in. It's definitely got some stuff to it, like there are activities to do, but you'd probably want to spend more time outside living here than being inside. There's not even a computer. It's so lame. But yeah, that is my tiny cottage. I hope that you guys like it. The build is available for you all on the gallery. It's called Tiny Cottage. You can find it under TheSimmingKoalaa with 2 A's at the end. That is my gallery ID, and it's always in the description if you guys ever want to download anything from me. The gallery did me dirty with the thumbnails because it looks just so small on this lot, but it's fine. Tiny homes are definitely becoming the thing that I enjoy building the most, I guess, right now. And I don't know why. I just keep wanting to build tiny homes. It's probably because I keep watching Tiny House Nation. I need to stop. It's doing something to me. But if you guys have suggestions for like styles you want to see me build as a tiny home or something, like definitely let me know in the comments. I would love to give them a try because I just want to experiment a little bit, really, and I am having a good time with this. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas for tiny homes or tiny builds in general that you want to see, or just, builds in general, leave your suggestions in the comments. And with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss anything. Be sure to follow my socials. Links are below. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.